Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today we're going to be revisiting the SR338 semi-auto sniper rifle that's exclusive to the Recon class in Battlefield 4. Now, why are we re-looking at this gun? I've already done a few videos on it before, and from those I concluded that it was one of the worst weapons in Battlefield 4. This gun has essentially been broken for 6 months. Well, the latest patch has gone and addressed basically the biggest issue of this weapon was that if you fired it too quickly, the bullet bloom would increase too much and you would get highly inaccurate shots. So you would zoom in on somebody's head, take a few shots, and your second shot would just go way off the mark, making this gun virtually unusable since it's really not a one-shot kill unless you're like right in somebody's face and you manage to get a headshot, which is incredibly difficult to do. So follow-up shots with this gun were painfully inaccurate. Thankfully, the latest patch has fixed this issue. Now your shots will be going exactly on target, and they've actually upped the bullet velocity to around 600 meters per second from 500 meters per second. So it's going to be a little bit easier to hit moving targets and distance targets. Now, as far as I know, the point of adding the SR338 into Battlefield 4 was to try and replicate the original damage model of DMRs from BF3. They had a 50 damage maximum, which would allow you to one-shot headshot somebody in close quarters and two-shot body shot them very consistently and still get that 3-shot body shot at longer ranges. Now, they did away with this damage model for DMRs in BF4 because there seemed to be sentiment that it was overpowered, which I find personally confusing. It might have been a different story on the console side of things, but certainly on the PC side of things, assault rifles were the dominant weapon in pretty much most ranges. So for some reason they nerfed DMRs, which on PC didn't make a lot of sense in my opinion anyway. So this gun is sort of like a throwback to the Battlefield 3 DMR. However, they gave it an extremely low rate of fire just to make sure it couldn't be considered overpowered. In this clip here, you're going to see me shoot it as fast as I possibly can. It's a semi-auto rifle, and this is going to be doing 50 damage only in 15 meters or closer. At range, it's going to be a 3-shot kill, and it goes down to the average DMR damage outputs at longer ranges. This is as fast as I can possibly shoot it. Now let's switch over to a Mark 11, which is your average DMR. It's not particularly special in any one category. Look how fast this fires in comparison. The only advantage that the SR338 has over the Mark 11 is that it can two-shot people in extremely close quarters, and if you're lucky enough, get a one-shot headshot kill. Again, this is only available in 15 meters or closer, so most situations you're not going to really take advantage of this. But the Mark 11 is shooting so much faster than the SR338, which is going to make it a much easier weapon to get kills at medium and long range. Let's see how this gun fares at medium range against your average opponent with a carbine. I'm not going to miss my shots, he's not going to miss his shots, but I'm going to go down way faster than him. In my best case scenario, I can get 2 body shots, which will drop people down into their low health, but they'll still be alive long enough to take me out. So I'm really left in the position where I have to ask myself, what is this gun designed to be good at? In my opinion, any DMR really outclasses this weapon at medium and longer ranges. They can just dish out more damage. Their accuracy is pretty much on par with this gun, and you can basically just have a more versatile weapon while using a DMR. True, in close range, you do have the option to one-shot headshot somebody or 2-shot body shot them, and you do have to be pretty close. At the same time though, if you compare that same ability with say the 44 Magnum, 44 Magnum has the exact same rate of fire as this gun, except it has better hipfire accuracy and basically is a more effective close quarter weapon. So if anybody's sneaking up on you and you want that close quarter kill ability with the one-shot headshot kill or the 2-shot body shot, go with the 44 Magnum. It will outshoot this gun in close quarters. Now, even though I realized pretty quickly that this was not going to be a good gun, even with the updates from the latest patch, I still had to play with it enough to try and figure out what was going to be an effective way to use this weapon, and I decided that using a 1x optic was really the way to go. You can use higher magnification on some maps, especially if you know you're only going to be engaging at long range, but if you need to do a hybrid of like close range to medium range to long range engagements, I still found the red dot sight to be the most effective. You could even use a 2x magnifier on there, but for the most part you're going to kind of need to spam fire this weapon to stay alive and be a little bit more versatile. In a way, you can kind of treat it like you have a 44 Magnum with a 10-round magazine that has a little bit more power at range. That would certainly be one way to think of this weapon, and it will give you an idea of how well you can do in close quarters. Not saying that the Magnum can't handle itself in close quarters, but if you miss any shots or you don't get your headshots in CQB, then you're pretty much done for. In fact, that's a really good rule of thumb for using this weapon in close quarters. Aim for the head. If you're not aiming for the head, then you're using this gun wrong, because you're not taking advantage of the one attribute that this gun does decently, which is the one-shot headshot kill in CQB. That's the only thing that this gun brings to the table over anything else out there, so you may as well try it out. And it certainly does make me reflect back to BF3, where DMRs had on average around 10 rounds a magazine, but shot a lot faster and still had that one-shot CQB capability. I remember them being fun to play with, a lot more fun, but assault rifles still had a much more consistent feeling to them. You could basically just take an AR into any situation and have a pretty good chance of dropping somebody very quickly, and if somebody had a DMR, they had that just lucky chance of potentially getting the one-shot headshot. I certainly didn't think it was overpowered, but then again, I also didn't play Battlefield 3 on console. I think it would be really cool if DICE, perhaps in a future patch, decided to upgrade the SR338 to really make it more of a tribute to the Battlefield 3 DMR. It is a Recon exclusive weapon, so not every class in the game would get access to it, but if you up the rate of fire to say 260, which would be on par with say a Mark 11, then you would actually have something that shoots just like a DMR from BF3, and it would be a really good experiment to see if, oh my god, is this gun going to be crazy overpowered and is everybody going to be using it, or is it just going to be a decent weapon, something that somebody's not going to pick up and say, oh, this gun sucks, let me go back to using whatever I was using before. So my official fix-it recommendation for this weapon would be to increase its rate of fire from 150 rounds per minute to 260 rounds per minute, and basically compensate for the kickback in accordance to make the gun play a bit more like the classic DMR from BF3 and see what happens. This could be an easy experiment in Battlefield CTE. If people start complaining there, then get rid of it. Don't put it in the official game, but again, we do have a nice test ground to test out some of these balance ideas. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Try out the gun if you really want to torture yourself. Otherwise, I would recommend avoiding it. I'll see you guys next time. This is LevelCap signing off.